Well, the losers of Democrats' past refuse to go quietly. Hillary Clinton and Tim Walz are back, not with solutions for the country or their party, but with a full-blown case of TDS. Kamala's failed Veep kicking things off using a college graduation speech to smear ICE agents with a truly despicable comparison.
Donald Trump's modern-day gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans, wearing masks, being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons. No chance to mount a defense, not even a chance to kiss a loved one goodbye, just grabbed up by masked agents, shoved into those vans, and disappeared.
Not to be outdone, Hillary Clinton is also running her mouth about the popular border policies of the man who beat her by mocking traditional American families.
This very blatant effort to basically send a message, most exemplified by Vance and Musk and others, that, you know, what we really need from you women are more children, which is sort of odd because the people who produce the most children in our country are immigrants and they want to deport them. So none of this adds up. First of all, don't be a handmaiden to the patriarchy, which kind of eliminates every woman on the other side of the aisle, except for very few.
All right, Greg, you want to talk about the Gestapo first, or what?
I guess I could talk about Tim Walz. Why do people like Walz only communicate through commencement addresses? Right? Not podcasts. It's because they can only recite their boilerplate opinions in arenas where there's no risk of a follow-up question. It's why J.D. Vance just mopped the floor with him when he actually was faced with someone asking him stuff. The moment you say, what do you mean by that? Or do you have proof that they're like the Gestapo? They will implode. This is why lefties always get all the commencement addresses, and they love to spout their opinions on award shows because they know there's no journalists there that will ask them a question. And the reason why, and he's the perfect example, none of their opinions are actually real. They are all assigned. So there's just a folksy glibness, but underneath it, there is nothing. And they never have to have that challenged because the people around them never say, hey, what do you mean by that? There's no contemplation. You can always tell when somebody's telling you something that is not their own opinion. You do it all the time, Jesse. But you know what's a perfect example? A perfect example is like me insulting Nickelback. And I've never heard their songs, but I make fun of Nickelback, but it's only because I've heard other people make fun of it. That's an assigned opinion. You look at Hillary. She uses the phrase, what was it? I wrote it down here. Handmaiden to the patriarchy, which I think she means she's bashing Monica Lewinsky. I'm not sure. But this only is appealing to an ever-shrinking circle of feminist women, the same who bow to the altar of trans men and keep silent when real women are victimized by really bad men. But again, it's another assigned opinion that's lazily presented, men against women. Whether it's race or gender, as long as you pit one group against the other, they won't look up at you. And this is how the Democrat Party survives, is they want everybody to fight each other over their specific group rather than fight over an idea, because once you look at the ideas, you leave the party.
Right. And if you are in a group that they think should vote for Democrats and you stray away, Sandra, then you get this kind of treatment. I mean, does Hillary Clinton want to comment on Susie Wiles, who's the first female chief of staff, the very pro-mother administration that the Trump administration has put into place, that President Trump has hired all these young women to work for him who are doing a great job on the merits? Yeah. I mean, for her to say you can't be holding the hand of the patriarchy was just a shot at any woman who decides she doesn't want the same path as Hillary.
What stuck out to me was the eliminating women comment as I interviewed the father of a 7th grader today, a 7th grade girl who was put out of medal contention running in her 200-meter race on the track against a biological boy. And it took this suburban father to take to the national airwaves to bring attention to the matter, because people like Hillary Clinton are not. As far as Tim Walz is concerned, He's got a captive audience when it comes to the graduation speeches. I mean, if we're up to him, I think we'd see him all over the place. I think Democrats might be holding back on him. But if you look at the last election and you look at the response he gets when he gets out there, Republicans should probably be happy that he keeps himself out there in the forefront. But Hillary Clinton's words, whew, it got me today, watching that girl not be able to get a third place finish because she has to race against a boy.
Katie,
Jesse, what?
I'm just getting word from the producers. Tim Walz has stage 4 jazz hands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I heard that's lethal.
Yes.
Jesse, don't you just love paying tens of thousands of dollars for your kid to go to college and then you go to the graduation finally and you get a lecture like this? Isn't it just the best?
Yeah, I mean, I'd fall asleep if Tampon talked to me. And he won't. I've invited him on like twice and he's still dodging.
Bummer.
So Tampon's career is over, Katie. You can't call ICE agents Nazis. That is a career ender. Federal law enforcement officials are Nazis. And this is coming from the guy that had a COVID snitch line. This is coming from the guy that fantasizes over communist China, which is a little more in line with those other people that he mentioned. If you have a face tattoo and you have criminal convictions in this country and you're a foreign national and you get picked up, I don't want a lawyer. I don't want an appeal. I want you, adios, goodbye. And if he thinks they should stay in here while they fight through the legal system, no, absolutely not. Now, Hillary, she thinks it's virtuous to have the entire third world and Latin America break through the border right before their water breaks and then have a baby at an American hospital without health insurance and then just raise the kid in a hotel room in Midtown while we pay for it. Absolutely not. We want more babies. Everybody wants more babies because if you don't have them, it's basic arithmetic, Katie. You go bankrupt first and then the civilization collapses. And all the policies the lefts are pushing is contributing to the decline of civilization, whether it's porn, cannabis, rapid urbanization, rapid industrialization, high mortgage rates. All of these things are making it impossible to have children and raise children. I just feel bad for Chelsea Clinton.
Oh, do
That's
you?
who
Do
I
you
think
really?
of mostly at these times.
I'm sure you do.
And Bill.
She
I'm
didn't
sure you're
choose to
very
be born.
Yeah. All right. So, Carol, do you think it's time to say adios, goodbye to Hillary and Tim? Are you tired of talking about them? Like you're ready to move on to new people?
I've been critical of my party over the last several months for the way we have handled the aftermath of the election. You look at, just as a juxtaposition, you look at several of the special elections that have been held since November. Democrats have fared somewhat well, I think largely because those Democrats running are actually in the country. You just recently had a mayor in Nebraska, in Omaha, a Republican, a Democrat beat him. They're not tapping into this Democratic message. The autopsy the Democrats need that tries to lay out and determine why we lost, how we lost. No one has seriously done it at the federal level. So as a result, you have free agents like Mr. Walz, and when I say free agents, they're known political figures. Obviously, Senator Clinton is a known, Secretary Clinton's a known political figure, but they're not saying things with any coordination or symmetry. And for that matter, they don't sound as if they're really in touch with the things that happen. You talked about the transgender athlete. That's an issue that we as Democrats, if we don't get serious about and realistic about and credible on, we're not going to be listened to on other issues that are credible and meaningful in people's lives. And until you understand where the path is and what the issues are, they're going to push us forward. You're going to continue to hear these voices, these free agent voices out here, talking in really kind of a diasporic and frankly unorganized and really ineffective way about the things that people care about. My advice, if you can't do it at the federal level, the autopsy, at least listen to what those who are winning in these special elections, in the state races, the local races, what are they saying that's appealing to everyday Americans in a broad cross-section of the country? But until you get an autopsy, until you figure out, and we all understand and get the painful lessons, you're going to continue to show these kind of silly bits and have to sit up here and respond to this nonsense.
Sorry, Harold.
I think that's good advice from Harold, who would like you to move on. Thank you. All right, up next, Democrats are going ballistic over the big, beautiful bill, and Americans are finally keeping more of their hard-earned cash.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.